right? We want to take a look at what is happening in the market when it comes to news. So this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We don't really have major news when it comes to the USD, but we have news when it comes to other pairs like Euro, GBP, and all of that. All right. So let's just jump straight into our analysis. We're going to start with DXY. And with DXY, we are talking about the dollar, right? So we're going to start with the weekly time frame right here. All right. So with DXY, what I'm seeing is the weekly time frame, we are strongly on a bearish trend. As you can see, price has been dropping like that. But this zone right here, take a look at this. Right, we are still on a downtrend, though no structure has been broken, but we created this support level price just with this area shot to the upside, and then we came back to that same region. So we don't know whether this price, the market is gonna probably just drop, or that could be a level where price could just reverse and then push to the upside. But as it stands, this is the ultimate high, the previous high, and this is the low. So this is the range in which we are trading within. All right, let's go to the daily time frame. This is where you can actually see trends. Yeah, so right here we had price just shooting to the downside, creating lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs like that. We tapped into this zone, and then price is currently trying to push up. So we want to see whether this downtrend is still going to hold, or price will obviously just shoot to the upside. All right, so this is the previous low that the market created. If you look at this structure, we had a lower low right here, lower high, and then a lower low. This is a lower high, a lower low, right? Even if we draw the trend line, you can probably see right here. So this is where we are sitting. Price is sitting below this major level of resistance. All right, so if you want to be looking for buying opportunities, in my opinion, we want to wait for price to at least break to the upside for a clear direction, knowing that okay, we are now on an uptrend on this time frame. Then we can probably get some opportunities going to the upside. Bear in mind, this is just for educational purposes. This is not a signal or nothing, just sharing our thought process and what we are seeing in the market. So yes, as I spoke about this level, there's a major resistance level, and that is where we are trading right now. So there could be two things can happen at this area. Price could just shoot to the upside, break, and then pull back. We can get an entry, because even if you look at this price action, price tapped into this level, gave us a double bottom structure. We shifted to an uptrend, impulse, pull back, we broke this structure, we pulled back to this zone, and then currently price is blocking the structure. So we are on a bullish order flow when it comes to the 4-inch time frame as well. Right, so if this order flow is going to continue on this time frame, then obviously where you want to be looking for buying opportunities is waiting for the structure to be broken so that you can trade above this. All right, but what if it doesn't break? All right, how are we going to approach this market? Because you should understand, the market is just like crossing a road. We have both ways, the left and the right. So if it's not going to go up and this is going to continue trading to the downside, then we also want to pay attention to what is going to happen in this zone on the lower time frames. Are we going to see price just waking on the lower time frames? Probably. Let's go to the 1H. Right, even though there is no sign of price dropping at this level, because we got there very impulsively, but who knows, we can probably, or price could even break above and come back in, give us a reversal structure right here, and then price could drop as well. If that happens, then obviously we know that this trend is going to continue to the downside, and this could even be a channel, right? So we are currently at the third touch of the trend line. There's the first touch area. There's the first touch, we have the second touch, price is trading around the third touch. So could this be a level where price will obviously just break to the downside, retest, and then probably resume to the downtrend? I don't know, you don't know, but we just have to focus on market structure in this area. All right, so two things: it's either we break above this, we look for buying opportunities, or price will drop, pull back, and then we look for selling opportunities. This is DXY. So we're going to take a look at Euro USD as well. In Euro USD, let me just clean everything up. Let's start on the daily time frame. All right, the daily time frame, price approached a liquidity level or a resistance level right here, right? And if you look at how price got there, we got there very, very corrective. Take a look at this structure right here. It's an impulsive move, but this is a very corrective move. So we can see probably that this channel price is approaching this level. And whenever we get to a level very correctively, there is something that we need to, be aware of, right? The momentum of the market could be reducing, especially with the bias, because this is a bias trend or a bias market. So we could see, sellers taking over right here. But we also have to understand what is happening around those zones, So this is the resistance level. Let's go down on the 4H time frame to take a look at what is happening here. So on the 4H, yes, very strong bullish trend. At this level, what I can see is, yes, price broke above that level. We shot to the downside, we tapped into that level again, and then we broke the structure to the downside. So you can call this the first top, second top. This is a reversal structure, by the way, right? Reversal pattern, double tops, right? So this is what I'm currently seeing when it comes to Euro USD. So for selling opportunities, we can also add our trend lines right here, right? So for selling opportunities, there's a first touch right here, second touch, third touch. So this is happening around the third touch of the trend line. The third touch of the trend line is a very sensitive level. Whenever price gets to the trend line, at the third touch level, you want to be aware of what price will do. So for example, if we have market dropping, right, like that, we have, a lower low, lower high, like that. So if I should connect my trend line, this will be my first touch, second touch. If price gets to the third touch of this trend line, this becomes an area where you want to see what price will do. If you get any reversal structure, then this could be, a very nice area to also look for short. So this third touch becomes a sensitive area. We have a third touch of the trend line that could also cause a continuation. This is a continuation, as you saw, continuation of the downtrend, or a reversal, right? So this right here that I'm explaining could be a third touch for a reversal, all right? That is for the selling opportunity. So for selling opportunities, I'm also seeing this area of previous resistance, price just pull back to this zone, and then we are currently bouncing on that level, right? So for selling opportunities, you obviously want to wait for this break and a pullback. That is when we can actually look for this short, right? Even with this might be a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline. If this breaks to the downside, and we can be looking for selling opportunities below this level, this could be the first target, then all the way to this level, right? So this is the selling side, right? Looking for selling opportunities. Now let's take a look at when are we going to be looking for buying opportunities. So when we're going to be looking for buying opportunity, let's take a look at this. Let me just take off this channel, right? As it stands, we are still very, very bullish, right? If you look at this structure, even though we are approaching this level of resistance, but we are still very bullish. Price still creating higher highs and higher lows and higher highs, right? This is a higher high, price is pulling back. So we have this level in the market. This was a resistance on the 4H. We can see this is just a pullback as well, right? So we have the impulsive phase and price is currently pulling back. So the time I'll be looking for selling opportunities, buying opportunities, is when price, the structure shifts actually to the upside. When we break this structure, there's a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high structure. If we break above this, then obviously we can be waiting for, buying opportunities. But until then, there is no sign, even though we are bouncing off this previous level of resistance and support. We just don't want to, start looking for buying opportunities right here. We want to be very patient as well. And if you look at this trend line, as I explained, the third touch level, this could also be something that might happen. So it's first touch, second touch, price, could obviously just break this low, tap on this level, give us any reversal structure, and then obviously we can be looking for buying opportunities. It's still Monday, so we need to allow the market to, just shape up. But this is what I'm just looking at, really, really amazing, and it's pretty, price action. So you just have to be very patient and see what the market will give us, all right? let's take a look at another pair. Yeah, so this is GBP USD, and this pair is really interesting. Let me start from the weekly time frame. So with the weekly time frame right here, where we are trading currently, where the market is right now, the price, it's at a very strong level of resistance and support, right? So if you draw this to our left, we can see that this was a strong level of resistance. So this was a resistance right here, a support, resistance, and that is where we are trading right now. Does it mean price is going to drop? Possibly, but does it also mean, that we cannot break this level? No, price can obviously break this level. So we just want to see what is happening within this range, all right? But before we even take a look at that, I want to speak about this. This is an expanding, structure, right? So I have my first touch right here, second touch, and you can see the third touch is also playing a role, right? So the third touch could be an area, as I spoke about, a sensitive area where price could just reverse, right? So we want to take a look at what price is doing at that third touch area, all right? But taking a look at this leg, you can obviously see we are still very bullish, high, 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 low, high, high. So it doesn't mean we have to straight away be looking for selling opportunities. But look at the candlesticks that are being printed at that level. I can even see an engulfing candle right here, right? So let's take a look at this on the daily time frame, right? On the daily time frame, there's a pair that we spoke about, by the way. We got to this level, there's a resistance level. We got to this level very, very corrective, all right? So this right here, we had an impulsive phase, and then price started moving sideways. This is a rising wedge pattern in the market, which is also a reversal structure. When seen on an uptrend, indicates that price will be dropping. So we had our first touch as well, first touch, second touch, and third touch, and then that is where price actually reversed, right? So as it stands, even on the daily time frame, we had price, price has actually closed below the previous low, right? So the daily structure has actually shifted. The order flow is now to the downside. We have a strong impulsive move to this, level, and then we closed above this level. So this is where the market opened. So let's go to the 4H time frame. Let's take a look at what is happening there. So we have this strong impulsive move, and price pullback actually. Looking at this structure as well, there's also a continuation pattern in the market. So we have a strong impulse, correction, and then that is what price is currently doing. We are trying to, just continue with this whole structure. So with this, probably can expect price, dropping to the downside like that, because obviously we are in a bearish, order flow, all right? So this is what I'm seeing on GBP USD right now, all right? We have even the breakout right here, the first touch somewhere here, second touch, and the third touch of this trend line. That is where price actually shot it downside, broke this structure. We have an impulsive move, and then currently price is also correcting. This is a correction phase, which is also a continuation pattern. So this could actually drop all the way to the downside, really, really looking amazing, all right? Yeah, so GBP USD is very, very easy to understand when it comes to analysis I just made, all right? So with this structure, obviously we don't want to expect price to come all the way to this side. It's going to take time, but yeah, just taking a look at what is happening right here. This could be our first level of interest, maybe somewhere here, or we can also target this level, and then we'll see what price will do when we get to that zone, all right? Let's take a look at gold as well. So gold has been choppy last week. Gold has been very, very choppy. Looking at gold on the weekly time frame, there's a level that I spoke about in our last session with this weekly high right here, right? So with this high, price was just struggling to break above for how many weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks straight. Price was just struggling to break above, break and close, right? So last 2 weeks we had a break and close. Last week this was a retest, right? So currently it looks like we are retesting that level, and then this is where the market opened for today. So are we gonna get a retest of this level and a push to the upside? That is what we are here to understand. All right, so on the daily time frame, looking at this as well, the order flow is to the upside. We have a higher high right here, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then a higher high, right? There is no sign when it comes to the market structure that indicates that we're on a downtrend. This is an uptrend. So we want to see if this is going to be just a pullback that will push to the upside, right? This is the level that I just talked about on the weekly, and this is a very strong level of resistance and support as well, right? So let's just add our fibs just to see if we are trading at a good level, right? So with my fib, I can see price has also pulled back to my strong level. This is my 0.71, 0.79 zone. This is a level that the market respects a lot. So we are trading at that level right now. And even if you look at the candlesticks, this is a doji which represents rejection or indecision. Another doji, which means that the pressure from the sellers has really reduced at this level. And then we are getting these candlesticks as well. So we are getting exhaustion at that level. On the 4H, what can you see? Right, we had a very strong move to the upside, and then price just started correcting to the downside. There's a very corrective structure in the market as well. This is also a falling wedge pattern, right? This is a reversal pattern as well. Whenever we see these kind of structures, it also indicates that price will just push to the upside. And clearly saw this bullish engulfing candle right here, right? So we had a strong engulfing candle once price tapped into this zone, right? On the 1H, yes, pretty nice. So we had a double bottom plus bullish engulfing, and then as it stands, we have price just breaking above the previous high, right? So if you look at market structure, this was a higher low, lower high, this is a lower low, lower high, and then we had price just breaking above this level. It's a lower low, lower high, and then the lower low, right? So this was the most recent lower high, and price has actually closed above. We are currently retesting or pulling back, right? So this could be an area where we just have to be very patient and get a correct entry. If this is going to be an uptrend, or if this market is going to push the upside, you obviously have to be very careful and wait for a good confirmation to actually get this price to the upside, right? But as it stands, the order flow has shifted from bearish to bullish. You just have to get the right confirmation. So we can do that on the 15-minute time frame, or even on the 1-hour time frame. As I said, still Monday, the market is still shaping up, so we just want to be very patient when it comes to getting an entry. All right, yeah. So let's take a look at our last pair, that is UJ. On the weekly time frame, take a look at this. This is a very strong level of resistance that the market support that the market printed. This level right here, and right there. All right. So if you take a look at the market currently, we are trying to push up, but what I can also see within this zone is obviously a first bottom right here, and then a second bottom. So this was the first bottom. Price shot to the upside is the neckline, and then price came down again to tap into that zone, right? So price is likely to create a double bottom structure at the zone, right, at the support level. It is not a double bottom structure yet until the neckline gets broken. All right, so this is what is happening currently. Market open, and we had a very strong momentum to the upside. So we just don't want to just rush and start looking for buying opportunities at this level. That is gonna be like trying to get a market from the top, which is not really right. So in my opinion, what I want to wait for is if this is gonna be a strong level right here of resistance, or if there's going to be the neckline, then I want to wait for price to break above that level. All right, this is what I want to do. I want to wait for price to break above this level, and then we can obviously be looking for price to just move to the upside. All right, so how would that look on the 4H time frame? That's how it's going to look like, right? As you can see, it's a very strong level of impulse. If you want to buy, you don't want to buy at the top. You can obviously even wait for price to at least give us a correction to the downside, and then we can obviously look for buying opportunities. But if that doesn't happen, and then we push impulsively and we break above this level, then we can wait for that correction to trade this to the upside. All right, yeah, the market is looking amazing. But anyway, as I said, it's just Monday, so it would be very ideal to allow the market to cool down, so that we can actually, get a very good entry when it comes to these pairs I've analyzed, So it is what it is. My name is Ike, the greatest. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because we're bringing you this kind of analysis so that you can also, stay informed and abreast with the market. All right. Peace.